How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my complete Pillars of Eternity playthrough. I'm diving into this classic computer role-playing game from Obsidian Entertainment, trying to get 100% completion, unlock all 26 achievements along the way. Whether you're here to just watch the full journey or to just check out the individual achievement guides and when I got the achievements specifically, you're in for a big treat. It's been a little bit, but we are coming back to it. Luckily, we're at Cadnua, which is nice. We finally are going to be able to start working on some specific achievements that I haven't got. Yeah, we're just how do we? There we go. Yeah. We're just now coming back because we kind of have a good bit of projects that are getting away from me. Everything is looking so entertaining to play. Oh, goodness. What? Okay. I was like, what is that god doing? There we go. Sorry, I'm rusty. It's unfortunate I'm playing Baldur's Gate 2 in this at the same time because the buttons are similar, but not exactly. But yeah, we are hoping to get some more videos out this week of Baldur's Gate and Pillars of Eternity, and then also continue working on my specific ones for EverQuest and my Paladin. But that, I think the Paladin one is going to take quite a bit just to get through Nightmare mode. It's a little bit more difficult than normal, so we'll have to put that on the back burner while I'm doing it. Where? Okay. But we are here in Cadnua. This is our stronghold that we're going to get. It has got some history. Okay, spectral smoke churns all around you. At first you see nothing except the haze, but gradually you make out the wizened, hunched shape of an old elven man. His face and bones and arms are smeared with paint. And he says, you can't do this. Do what?
This is our village, our home. The Nine Claws have lived here almost 50 generations. We were here long before your kind brought war to our lands. You can't just burn it all. Have mercy, soldier. Our warriors have all gone. You can't burn us all because of them.
So he draws back and gapes at you in horror, seemingly in response to something you didn't actually say. But illusory tongues of flame flicker at the corners of your vision. He reaches out to you and opens his mouth to say something, but all that emerges is a series of violent coughs. He falls to his knees, choking on the thickening smoke. Flames overtake the vision as you back away. What is this? Isn't there a way to check active effects? So yeah, this is Cadnua. This is our stronghold that we're going to get. We just have to clear out some of the previous tenants. This may be a little... Yeah, and this is vessels, so this is... I believe that these are vessels. Oh, active effects. There we go. So what's his face is confused. Hmm. Hmm. 11. That doesn't seem great. Oh, 25. Okay, cool. We're going to use Iconic Projection. This is a really good one. Because it heals and damages foes it goes through. It heals your party members, and it damages stuff that it goes through. Eder is having a time. In fact, does he have... He does. In fact, we may put him on range and let my boar take care of things. Lizard skin, knuckle bones, and teeth of various sizes. We are going to get him out of there. Yeah, withdrawal lets us basically take him out of the fight, and it also heals, lets him heal a little bit, but I don't think it's going to, considering he doesn't have any more endurance left. And then we're going to summon our skellies to tank for us, and then I think we're good. Oh, no, these aren't vessels. These are spirits. That's why it wasn't doing any damage. I thought they was vessels, but they're spirits. How do we look at our map? Is it this? And we may want to rest before we go in. Okay, we got the maze. Can we rest here? Yes. Okay, now we can switch Eder back. Go into Bright Hollow, get some XP and things. I think there is some... Nothing. I thought there was... Maybe it's in the other location.
Bright Hollow, much like the Stronghold exterior, incorporates our system for dynamically changing the background of a scene the player is in. What was perhaps more challenging was that the vision for the player home was a two-story house with a fountain in the middle that could be seen from both floors.
Should be still talking when I come out of here. I didn't mean to interrupt. Nope. Oh well. You missed it. I thought he still talked through loading screens and everything. We're going to have a big fight in here. Okay, we got an addendum to our journal entry. Keep seems abandoned their spirits here, as there were in Gilded Vale creatures too. Seems I will have to explore further if I'm to find answers. Now, yes.
Well, that's unusual.
Yeah, Whispers of Yenwood is a really good sword. And we're going to give it to Eder. And we're going to put this in our stash. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. It is hits better. 20% of grazes convert to hits. Accuracy against spirits and damage against spirits. Some constitution, but the will is sapped a little bit. It says its blade covered with graceful Glonfothan engravings. Whispers of Yenwood was once the sword of the first Road Warden of Cadnua. When the Earl of Yenwood appointed Kefed Eidhart, the young lord feared the spirits that were rumored to dwell under the young castle's foundation. He spent a sizable sum to have the Black Ymirian blade, steel blade forged, shipped to the Eastern Reach for engravings by the Earl's Glonfathan slave artisans and enchanted in New Dunnard. Kefed is known to have used the sword in the Battle of Old Giran and to help the neighboring Radricks suppress an uprising in Gilded Vale, but there is no recorded use of it in Cadnua. Over time, Kefed began to believe that the sword had been cursed by the Glonfathan artisans who decorated it. He confided in those close to him that he thought the spirits of the dead were speaking to him through the blade while he slept. One evening, against the pleas of his wife and soldiers, a maddened Kefed carried the sword deep into the misty woods of Eir Glonfoth. His body was never recovered, but the next Road Warden, the Earl assigned to Cadnua, found it waiting for him on the throne in the keep's great hall. None of the soldiers could explain how the sword had appeared there. No Road Warden has carried the sword since that day. So it's just good to fight spirits, which we are going to have to do here in a bit.
This is the Great Hall of the Stronghold. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes here. Much like the exterior of the stronghold, all the content of this area had to serve multiple purposes and be conditionalized by various stages this area can be experienced in. When the player enters the scene, it is supposed to look like it is in complete shambles and haunted. There is combat in this level and a scene with the steward of King Ymir. Once the player unlocks the stronghold and upgrades this area, however, it becomes a warm, grand, and inviting area where visitors will appear. On top of all of this, the level also had to serve the purpose of the battle arena in instances where the player's stronghold has been infiltrated by monsters in its paths. All this was accomplished by making the Great Hall a rather long hall with a great lane in the middle that serves combat tactically. Coincidentally, it makes the Great Hall all that much more great once it has been fully upgraded.
Got some developer commentary there. I'm going to go into the library. There's some extra combat encounters in here. Eder is really...
The Stronghold Library existed for a while in the design of the Stronghold. Initially, it granted the player intellect and lore bonus upon resting in the Stronghold. However, once we began getting more and more lore books added to the game, we thought it'd be a great idea if this could be a place where they could be stored once the player had found them.
Eder is not doing too good as far as like being tanky. He is not tanky yet.
It makes you rest easy.
All right. Yep. So we don't get experience per fight, but we do get progress towards our monster bestiary. And when we max out when we get all the information for each monster, we get a experience point bonus. So it is worth it to do those fights if you haven't done like each of the monsters. Here comes another chat, I think. No, okay. And we discover new areas like barracks, and we get XP bonuses for discovering new areas. Okay. As you come to the end of the Great Hall, you perceive an inviting warmth radiating from a grand throne wrought out of marble, its masterful artistry out of place amidst the castle's more practical stonework. The veiled face of a woman is carved above the throne's backing, watching over the room with hollow eyes. At your approach, you feel the warmth fluctuate as though stirring. A voice rings out from the carving, permeating the fortress through stone and air.
Another watcher in Catamina, glowing very brightly indeed to these eyes. What strange happenstance.
Okay, who is that speaking?
I'm sorry if I startled you. I'm afraid my manners have been slipping. I haven't had much opportunity for introductions lately. In any case, I assume you're here looking for Maerwald.
Are you imprisoned in that throne?
Imprisoned? At times it feels that way, I suppose. But it's more that I reside here. The throne was brought up from the ruins. One of the first things they found. As a last favor to a dying woman, the Earl arranged for me to be moved into it. Audra is an accommodating vessel for a soul. Oh, it's not as confining as it seems. I can feel the whole keep from here, and all things that are tied to it. There's something about this throne and its construction. Or maybe it's something about this place.
Any idea where we find Maerwald?
I can feel his presence faintly somewhere deeper inside the keep. But he uses his gifts to confound me, and my senses are dulled while he does so. I only wish I could know his mind.
Tell me about him.
He was a great man. He came here one day, young with long hair and polished armor, and he banished the dark things that had come to lurk in this place after centuries of neglect. He could see the beauty of this place, the way it had been, so he claimed it for his own when no one else would take it. We worked together to restore it. But he began to grow distant some time ago. He never told me why. He retreated deeper and deeper into the keep, never leaving, sending servants for food, hiding himself from my sight. The restoration stopped. Now, to look at the place, you'd never know the progress we've made. In most places, it's worse than it ever was. And all I can do is watch it crumble around me.
All right, well, sorry about that, and I'll see you later.
Take care in your search. Many dangers lie in wait here.
Okay. Now we can head this way.
There's my little soldier. Been out playing soldier again, have we? Go wash up and come help me shuck these peas.
As you draw near, the apparition in front of you resolves into an elven woman. Her stringy hair is tied back. She tugs at a loose thread on her apron. There's a distant, hollow look in her eyes until she notices you, and a frail smile descends like a veil over her face. She turns from you long enough to produce a basket that, like her, is shimmering and transparent. Semi-transparent. No complaints, you've got to eat your vegetables if you want to grow up strong and be a soldier, real soldier one day. Just like we agreed, right? What are you talking about?
Soldiers are important people. They defend the weak and punish the wicked. You're too young to understand now, but there are lots of wicked people. People like the man who murdered your father.
Okay. Remind me what happened to my father.
Before you were born, the Glanfathans attacked settlers like us. They said we'd knocked over some of their special Adra rocks. That's why they call it the Broken Stone War. They got very angry, and so they came into our villages and killed many people. Your father was one of them.
He was one that they killed. That's what I said. Her voice is low and harsh, hoarse, and her hand is frozen over the basket. Something dark and empty. Still awake?
He is asleep. So mommy said to go on the couch.
Yeah, I said
lay on the couch because I'm hungry.
Something dark and empty clouds over our eyes.
That's why you'll be a soldier one day. To protect and to avenge. Why don't you go back out and play? I'll finish up here.
Okay. Got some spiders now.
Like many of the stronghold maps, the design of this area had to accommodate multiple sets of content. In this scene, the player's introduction to the area is a spider-infested dungeon where a great deal of combat and stealth can happen. Later on, once the player unlocks the stronghold, the area serves as a dungeon where they can imprison various characters through their travels, in which in and of itself offers its own reactivity for this particular scene.
Man, he just does not last. I think we're good. Yeah, I think. I think we're gonna put him on bow duty now.
Just go down to the bed. Just go lay in the bed, go to bed.
New orders, Lieutenant. Ready your squad.
So the spectral man arrayed in armor and an officer's cloak studies a single sheet of paper. You can see straight through it to the ducal and Edir insignias on his breastplate. He seems to read over the page several times before looking up at you, and when he does, his expression is unreadable.
There's been a change of plans. Take your squad and march south all the way to the bow in the river. Bring a wagon team and a dozen barrels of pitch.
His voice falters and he shakes his head. The hand holding the paper drops to his side.
The instructions come from Admet Hadred himself, which means they might as well have come from the Duke. We're to burn those hut dwellers out. Set fire to the deerwood so they've nowhere to retreat. Cut them down when they come out. Or let them blaze if they won't. It'll make this even shorter than the Broken Stone War, all right? And we can only hope it'll discourage future conflicts. I know this is personal for you. It is for many of us. But understand, we're doing this to end this war, not to continue the last one. Remember that we're flushing out the enemy, not burning villages for sport. Bareth will have his work cut out for him tonight.
Right. Can we rest? I don't think we can rest in here. No. We really need to rest, or Adir is going to get his crap rocked in this next fight. He's already got like frostbite and broken bones and everything in between, so... Alright. Because we got a big fight coming up. And,
Take those farmers by surprise. Almost time. Di and Heather scouted the village last night. They're rounding up the rest of the party now.
what party?
Don't worry. Everyone remembers the raid was your idea. The Rio had to go along with it after you got the rest of the clan riled up. No one wants it said that the Nine Claws were too cowardly to stand with the rest of the tribe when the Horners desecrated our ruins.
The Rio. The ragged strips of paint on his face twist as he laughs. You may not like them, but they're still our elders. For now. A dead gray tooth peers from between his lips. That was clever, drawing the support of the community first. By the time you approached the Rio, they had no choice to support us. There's no doubt you'll join their ranks one day, so long as no farmer's pitchfork fells you tonight.
Tribes need more leaders like you. Women who value deeds over words.
He reaches towards your cheek, but stops midway, his splayed fingers quivering as a tremor of doubt runs through him.
You were right. We're too soft when the foreigners first came, and now they humiliate us. We'll be soft no more, and the invaders will learn to leave us alone once and for all.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
area is the player's introduction to the Endless Paths of Oddnima. While the Endless Paths are a completely optional dungeon, this area also contains content that is crucial to the critical path.
I'll have this open in no
Because
time.
of this, the area needed to be segregated in parts
It's done.
by the sections that are pertaining to the Endless Paths and what was critical path. But we didn't want to superimpose this design decision over the architecture and flow of the scene. This was accomplished by introducing tougher encounters if the player would stray from the beaten path leading to the Old Watcher's Chamber. This would telegraph to the player that further dangers lie ahead, ultimately leading them onto the Endless Paths of Oddnima.
No. Keep away from us. Leave us.
Okay, it says a large liver-spotted man, barrel-chested and paunchy, cowers in the far corner of the room. His white hair a tangled, stringy mess. He covers his face and chest with trembling hands, unable to look in your direction.
Maybe we should come back later.
Are you Maerwald? He looks up over his hands, the muscles around his eyes twitching, and begins whispering to himself in sharp hisses as though having an argument. All at once, he stops shaking, a sudden calmness falling over him. His head tilts forward slightly, and he looks you dead in the eye, like a cornered animal about to pounce. His voice turns suddenly raspy.
Maerwald isn't here, and he isn't fooled. He has sent for no collars. Be gone, deceiving spirit.
We'll do diplomatic. Please, there's something wrong with me. I need Maerwald's help.
Maerwald will speak with you, but you will maintain your distance, or you'll have me to answer to.
So the old man turns his body away and has another sputtering argument facing the wall. When he turns back towards you, he has taken a confident stance, and his chest is puffed out like a soldier's. A new strength enters his voice.
To speak to Maerwald? Maerwald whose touch is poison? Maerwald who knows not his effect?
I was told I'm a watcher and that you could tell me more about it. And about a tablet of some worth after that, once you two are finished, of course.
The window to the ether where spirits dwell. Hear and reach into it, speak and listen through it. A watcher sees souls, reads them, knows their pasts, souls of the living, souls of the dead, in impact,
used it to help beings in both realms, did I? But the gods wanted of me, thought I.
The gods put me in the world for vengeance, and I obliged. It was the gods' wishes that we protect those lands. My way was the only way to remove the foreigners.
Little I knew.
Seem to have lost your mind.
Lost? No. Found more of it. Too much. Too much to bear.
An awakening. Alos Asner as he looks at the old man. How could a simple awakening have driven you to this? What's an awakening?
Many lifetimes we have. Souls enter womb and exit corpse. Carry with them all experiences, all knowledge, all identities. Yet we do not remember. Hidden from us. What end? What end? Only the gods know. Certain things can stir memories from lives long buried. Awaken the old memories, the old personalities. Memory, personality, identity, any might resurface. Or all.
And I seem to be having a conversation with several of them right now.
Of the mind. Maerwald has lost control. Maerwald's body no more.
The spirits I passed, what are they?
Spirits and not spirits. Always whispering to Maerwald, reminding him of his mistakes. No sleep. Watchers see memories before them. Form them from the essence of their own souls. Once Maerwald awakened,
Hey there, partner. Here.
did not make them leave.
Take her easy.
Gave them more form, not less.
So the spirits are memories from past lives.
Troubled memories, angry memories, pulling Maerwald back, reminding him his mistakes. Marauder and soldier, soldier and marauder, how could they know?
Why do these past lives still trouble you?
My fault, all my fault. Soldier and marauder, soldier and marauder and Maerwald. No forgiveness for what's past. No undoing what's done. No sleep. No sleep, brother watcher. War there was all around. War of stone, war of tree.
War of Tree. Oh, of course, the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees. This was in the early period of Aedirn colonization, fighting between the Deerwood colonists and the native Glonfothans, you see, but that was a long time ago.
Death we brought to the settler men. We, the 9 claws. Claws of 9. Worse what we did to the women. For love of the gods. The gods' love. For their love.
I met one of your memory spirits. There was talk of raiding a village. Maerwald's voice becomes raspy and he's somewhere else in place and time speaking to someone unseen.
Hold her down. Head her. Give this happy a bitch an air that belongs in air Glonfa.
Maerwald cringes himself again, watching something he can't bear to see, shaking his head over and over. He wails. His soul is marked by flame, and those marks never heal. His trial has broken him, but better than that than to live in weakness. Will be benevolent. Take your time, it's over now. It was long ago. Continue when you're ready.
The baby boy. The boy. Conceived in the raid. Conceived by force. Vessel for Marauder. Slain in the raid. Marauder and the boy. Marauder and soldier.
A baby conceived by the raid? What do you mean it was a vessel for him?
The soul. Marauder's soul. Same soul. One soul. Boy's soul.
Marauder's soul, raised in lies and vengeance, raised to soldier, raised for the fire, born for the fire.
And that was his mother I met in the keep. She told him his father was killed by the raiders.
You'll get no pity from me. The crimes of the Nine Claws clan in the last war are still unavenged. The gods are just. They have led me here. In my father's name, every one of you will burn. Light it.
So he came back in the next life to burn his own clan. No wonder he's such a mess now. That'll stain you right down to your soul. Maerwald's shoulders slump. He rocks back and forth, agitated. He mutters to himself, oblivious to your presence.
Soldier and marauder, lies and vengeance, and dead villages. All dead. All dead. What for?
Okay, so I see no reason, just bad luck.
How little we know.
So how do you tell a spirit from a memory?
Fragmented are memories. Stuck in time. Mindless, cruel. Never far.
I've seen apparitions like those elsewhere since I became a watcher.
No. You too. You too.
All at once, in spite of his abject misery, his expression changes to one of utmost sympathy. Poor man, poor man.
They will take you too.
Alos's eyes dart between you and Maerwald. What exactly does he mean? Surely something can be done. So you're saying I'll end up like you.
So fragile the Watcher's mind. So real his memories. Once awakened, how can he sleep?
So if I'm awakened to a past life, how would that have happened?
You were reminded of it. Strong memories, lingering lives, they dwell near the surface, waiting to be remembered, waiting to take your mind for their own. Maerwald sat at his hearth and watched his fire, watched the wood burn. Then came the memory of another fire and burning wood and screams.
There must be some way to make these memories go away.
No, always there, always remembered. Can't forget, can't unsee.
I didn't just remember someone caused this. They wore masks and spoke of books, keys, and a queen. There was a man there, and he seemed familiar to me.
Keys of lead, books of burden, queens that were. Known to me are they, the leaden key.
The leaden key. It seems we share an enemy, Crane. Assassins and Watcher Wakers both. They certainly keep busy. What can you tell me about the leaden key?
Secrets and deceptions and schemes. Who knows their answers? Not they. Not they. Crossed them before. Hatred of watchers, hatred and fear. Much we see. Threat to secrets.
Who's the queen they pray to?
Woodica, goddess, crown shattered and body burned. Binder of oaths and grudge holder. Bearer of justice. But whose?
Okay, if the leaden key caused my awakening, could they undo it?
Many secrets do they keep. Unawakened? Mayhap. Who else if not they?
Do you know where I can find them?
City of Defiance. Never far from the Queen.
So let's go search for him.
Well, sleep well. Hold! I know your will die. Your actions were seen. You would sooner betray us to the Adir land thieves than take orders from me.
You're confusing me with someone from a past life.
Your betrayal is for nothing. Your warnings are lost to these foreigners, and their blood will be Galloway's tribute this night. I have asked the elders for the honor of claiming your head as my first trophy, and they have granted it. Beg for the Seeker God to grant you a quick death.
Okay, now we got us a fight. So let's try to focus on Maerwald himself. We need this. What are you doing, my boy? Okay, we got our heal going. Nice. Nice. That was nice. There's a change in the air of the keep. What was thick and suffocating feels to you somehow more breathable, as though yielding to a conquering invader. Maerwald's body lies inert. You can feel his soul lingering there, uncertain. There's something unique about this soul in this place, a bond formed in decades of inhabitants and lordship that feels somehow palpable to you, as though, even in death, the keep knows its former master, and the former master remembers his keep. So I got Speaker to the Restless. In your mind's eye, the bond seems to you as a frayed rope, ghosted and alive, its frayed ends writhing like tadpole anemones, and you find that if you concentrate on it, you have the ability to manipulate it. We're gonna do this one, Siphon Knowledge. You turn both ends of the rope towards you, bring them into contact with your essence, and as you do, the fibers turn to copper, and through them an energy is conducted into your being. You are traveling downward now beneath the place you stand, seeing places dank and cobwebbed and malignant, like some untended garden overgrown with flora and overrun with vermin. Below everything, at the very bottom, you glimpse for an instant some being you can't quite make out, presiding over it all with brilliant and terrifying power. One image remains in your perception: a circular room with a stone table that resembles the sun, in an area guarded by suits of armor that move of their own volition. It is deep, not far from the very bottom. There's a door in that room, invisible to all but the most fastidious of eyes, and beyond it, something shimmering, something powerful. As the image fades, you find yourself in Cadnua once more, and his soul is nowhere to be seen. So, we did it. Actually, it wasn't too bad. So we got some ingredients. We have Maerwald's Grimoire.
I'll handle this. It's done. Let's see what lies this way. I'll have this open in no time.
Got one and some money. And I think that's where we're getting into today. You're going to save it, and we'll jump back into it another time. Thanks for joining me on playing Pillars of Eternity. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell to stay updated for achievement guides and more of the playthrough. Whether you're here for the full journey through Pillars of Eternity 1 or just for the guides and where I get the achievements, you'll have plenty more to see. So until next time, thanks.